Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. There are 3 great stories waiting for us today, and the first one's about Karen, who thinks that OP is a policeman and calls a real policeman when she understands what's wrong. I'm not a cop, lady. I read a story on here a month back about the person who drives a retired police interceptor. See, I also drive one too. Black and white with a push bar and a spotlight, but no emblems or anything. Scratched up paint everywhere. I'm saving up to get it repainted, so I don't intend to appear like I'm law enforcement. One day, I was sitting around in my car in the back of a parking lot of a business, out of sight and out of mind, munching on a Subway sandwich, minding my own business. I'm so enthralled in my sandwich when I hear a sharp rapping on my window. I look up mid-bite at an older lady who matches those "I want to talk to your manager" memes to a T. I roll down my window and ask how I can help her. Crazy lady. "Oh, you finally managed to come out here and make your presence known. I've been complaining to the police for weeks about the homeless who hang out in this area around our business. Look, there's one right there." She proceeded to point at a guy who was well away from anything, just sitting there doing nothing out of the way. Me. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, there's a mistake. I'm not a cop. This is just a retired cruiser. If you want me to go someplace else, I don't mind." "What I want you to do is stop lying to me. Get off your butt and go tell that homeless man to leave." First of all, don't effing talk to me like that. I've been nothing but courteous to you and honest. I'm not a cop. I would suggest calling the non-emergency line for the local PD. "I pay your salary, jerk. You have no right to talk to me like that. So unprofessional." So I promptly roll up my window, which is super tempted to go back to eating my sandwich, and turn the radio up. Next thing you know, a few minutes later, I get a few cops rolling up with lights and sirens surrounding my car and telling me to get out. I promptly comply. They search me, let me go, and start talking to me. They said they got a call that someone was impersonating an officer and was still parked here. An important thing to note is that I do monthly ride-alongs with this PD for a few years now, so I'm a little acquainted with most of the officers. Luckily, one of them who showed up as backup knew me, knew what I drove, and knew that it's not something I'd ever do, as I've shown them nothing but respect from my rides with them. Fast forward a few minutes, they talk to the homeless guy who confirms that I've done nothing but sit there and eat my sandwich in peace. They turn to the lady and start lecturing her on lying like that, how it could have turned into a dangerous situation for me, how she's tying up emergency resources on this. She doesn't like this and gets mouthy with the officers. Cue some more "I pay your salary, I want a supervisor," etc. So the supervisor comes down. It's actually a sergeant I'm friends with who's been pushing me to test and join the PD. Really nice guy, really good at his job and de-escalating any situation. She starts shouting at him and ends up poking him in the chest with her finger. He tells her not to ever do that again and that she's lucky she's not already arrested. She proceeds to tell him to F off and shoves him. Next thing you know, she's in cuffs, slapped with a bunch of charges, and crying in tears in the back of a patrol car. Sergeant walks up to me, tells me what happened, and that the PD's going to press charges. Cue all of us laughing at the situation, and they leave. I walk up to the homeless guy who basically told him the truth about what happened, ask him if he's hungry, to which he says yes, buy him a sandwich from the Subway next door, he thanks me, I thank him, and I continue on my way. This is basically what solidifies the idea that I need to repaint my car. Thanks for reading, guys. So people pay cops' salary in the same way I pay the salary of anyone who works for a company I buy stuff from. We all pay each other's salary, right? And our next story. I'm the owner's sister. I only pay half price. Probably lots of unnecessary detail. Skip to about halfway if you don't want to read all the context first. I have a friend who owns a B&B, which he runs with his family, him, his wife, and his son. I don't see him very often, so every couple of years, my wife and I arrange to stay at the B&B for a few days. He never charges me properly, so we mostly go during the off-season when we aren't taking the place of actual paying customers, so I feel less guilty taking mates rates knowing nobody else will be there. He obviously still has a business to run, so we don't spend a huge amount of time together, but we all have breakfast and dinner together most evenings. Last winter, he called me before I arrived to let me know there was a problem. His wife had to go to the hospital for surgery. His son, 14, would still be there and would mostly take care of the day-to-day, but he wanted me to help out for a few hours if anything came up. We were there for a week, so of course a few hours, even a whole day, wouldn't be a problem. On the day, I had breakfast with my wife and then made her pack a lunch so she could go for a hike around the lakes. The weather wasn't great, so I wasn't missing out on much. Sometime in the afternoon, a new guest arrived and wanted a discount. B, owner's son. M, me. G, entitled guest. My wife also makes a cameo appearance near the end. B is getting the guest checked in, so the first part is what I told before. I went out to see the guest. B gives his welcome spiel and asks, "Do you have a reservation?" G, "No, but I know the owners. They said as it isn't peak season that you have room for me without a booking." Of course. I just need to ask to see if we're expecting you so I can decide which room to put you in. For the number of nights you're looking to stay, the total bill would come to a few $100s. Would you like to pay that now by debit or credit card? G, what, did you not hear me? I know the owners. They never charge me full price. I usually only pay around half that. Go get your manager or I'll call the owners. B, of course. So he comes in to talk to me and explains the situation. He said he doesn't know or recognize her at all. Me, "Hi G, how can I help?" G, "I don't recognize you. Are you new?" Me, "I must have been here on and off for a number of seasons now. How can I help you?" G, "B here's wanting to charge me the full walk-in price. I know the owners. I'm family. I usually receive a discount and only pay this much." Me, "Well, we're normally told about discounted guests. I don't have anything for you. I'm assuming you have a discount card or a letter?" No? Okay, well, that's still not a problem, but it does mean that I do need to charge you full price and can then refund you partially once we've got permission from the owner. G, now being quite sweet. "Well, you see, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm near the limit on my card. I'm afraid I don't think it's going to allow you to take the full amount. Just put it through at the discounted rate and you can check in with the owners later. I'm here for a few days. You have all that time to clear it up with them." Me, "I'm really sorry. I can't do that. You said you were family, right? What family are you? I can call them and just clear it up over the phone. I'm the owner's sister. But you don't need to call him. I'll do it in the morning. The family are currently on holiday. You won't be able to get through now, so just put it at the discounted rate or check me in. We can settle the bill when I leave." Remember, I said I knew the owners? I know all of his family, as we've been friends since school, and I met her family multiple times. She doesn't have a sister. Me, "It's okay. I'll give one of the kids a call. As soon as they confirm you're their aunt, we can put you in a room. You might even get a bigger discount." So I pick up the phone and dial the mobile number for B. Me, "Hi B, this is M. I have your aunt at the front desk, but we don't have any bookings. Can I have your permission to put the card through at a family discount?" B comes out of the office. "I don't recognize her. She's not my aunt." Me to G, while still holding the phone up. "I'm sorry, but the owner's son doesn't recognize you at all. He said you aren't his aunt." "What do you mean, recognize? Where did they see me?" I put the phone down and asked B directly. "Nope, she isn't my aunt." This is where my wife walks into the building and is taking off her muddy shoes at a chair, listening to all this going on. G, no, I'm not your aunt. I'm the owner's sister. Finally working out what's going on. You aren't the owner. What are you, 12? Are you even old enough to work here? Well, I'll have you fired. Me, I don't think the owner of this business will fire his son just because he didn't recognize his aunt. If you'd like to stay here, this is the total. G, with a racial slur racist comment, turns and walks to the door, stops at my wife and tells her not to stay here and to find somewhere else instead. My wife, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't want you here. I'm the owner's wife and that's my son. You're not my sister, and you're not my husband's sister, and that means you aren't his aunt. So I suggest you get the F out of my B&B before I call the police. Okay, so my wife is a liar, but it got the lady out of the building and car parked pretty quickly. When my friend and his wife got back that evening, they said they get at least one a year, but it's usually in the peak busy season when they have additional seasonal staff helping because they're more likely to make mistakes. He told me of another story where a guest was staying for multiple nights and they should let him get checked in and sort out the bill at checkout, but the guest will usually be gone before breakfast the next morning or leave early when no one's expecting it. That's why businesses like hotels and B&Bs take full payment in advance or take the card authorization at the start. Being kind can bring brownies to your life. This happened like a year ago, and I just wanted to share it. I went to a supermarket to get something to eat before my next class at college. I was walking in when I saw an elderly woman and her husband calling me from the parking lot. This very nice lady just wanted some help to get a heavy box inside her car. Since I'm not a total piece of garbage, and I always loved my grandparents, I was happy to help them. I lift the box, and her husband says, "Peppy," some nickname I guess, "I think he doesn't work here." I was wearing a black jacket, jeans, and black boots. The store's uniform was a black sweater, jeans, and black safety shoes, so I understand the confusion. She started apologizing and asked me why I helped her, and I just said, "Well, you asked nicely." She then smiled and gave me something on a napkin. They were going to a family reunion, so she gave me some homemade brownies they were bringing. Well, that's it. There's always one bad experience here, so I wanted to share this nice and short one. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.